So I've been waiting for the next VR headset from Valve for quite a while now. My first experience with VR was on the Index a few years ago. Playing games like Budget Cuts really blew me away with what was possible with VR. The problem was though, the system we had, the headset, had a wire coming out the back of it. And to me, that's always pulling you out of the experience and reminding you you're not actually in the world that your brain's trying to convince you that you're in. And so I was always looking forward to that wireless experience. Now, I actually got that last year. We actually picked up a Quest 3, and overall, I've been really impressed with it. The way it scans your room, implements augmented reality, but also streaming from my PC through the Wi-Fi in our house. I was able to gain that wireless experience that I'd always wanted. So rumours have been spinning now around Valve for quite a while about their next VR headset, what it would look like, what it would be able to do, that kind of thing. Codenamed Deckard, it was really shrouded in mystery. Well, last week we actually got the answer to all our questions and more, because Valve not only released information on this new headset, they also released information on a further 2 pieces of hardware, which was absolutely spectacular. Starting with the Steam Machine, this thing is adorable. It's like a tiny little box with a PC inside, and it's got all the components of a PC. It's running on Steam's hardware and software, so it runs all Steam games no problem, and it's going to be optimized to hell. And yeah, I can see it appealing to quite a lot of people, even maybe people who've got a PC but want something like for their children or something downstairs in the lounge. It's tiny, so it fits behind a TV or even on a desk. It looks pretty good as well. You know, people are calling it the Gabe Cube, which I think is quite funny. But yeah, I can really see this appealing to a lot of people. I also see it appealing to people who are in the Xbox space at the moment. Now, Microsoft have gone on a bit of a grand tour of sabotage or self-sabotage at the moment. They seem to be just completely losing interest with the Xbox division of their company, and seem to be doing everything humanly possible to alienate the people that they would once call loyal customers. And they've increased prices across the board. They've made Game Pass almost, not worth it. They've got rid of almost all their exclusives. I think maybe they have now. I've lost track. And so it's so obvious now that either Xbox have lost control of what's going on, but they want to continue as a console. But it's more likely that Microsoft, the people that run Microsoft, just had enough and they just said, you know what, we're done with the console war. Become a publisher, use the IPs we've bought with the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, and then just continue as a publisher. So fair enough, but those gamers, they want a system they can rely on, and this is where I think the Steam machine might actually come into play. And then we have the controller, the Steam controller. A lot of people have been referring to this as the old Steam controller or the new Steam controller because, yeah, we've had 2 now. And this looks great. Initially I was like, oh really? Like, we've already got loads of controllers, why do we need another one? But the more they talk about it, the more it makes sense. So this essentially is a Steam Deck with the screen removed from the middle. I think they've slightly molded the handheld part of the controller to more fit to sit on your lap, because obviously that's where it's going to be sat the most. And yeah, it looks actually great. They've taken all the really cool little parts of the Steam Deck, like the capacitive sensors in the thumbsticks, the grips at the back, and they've got like a nice little dongle thing that attaches to the back, and it just clips on with a magnet, so you just can charge or connect it to the PC, or if you have a Steam machine, whatever you want to do. This thing looks really adaptable. It just looks like a really awesome controller, and I definitely will pick one up at some point. So yeah, hats off to Valve for this one. Of course, the big one for me is the headset. The Steam Frame, which I'm not exactly sold on the name, but that doesn't matter because I don't care what it's called. This thing looks really good. This looks like exactly what I was looking for. So starting off with the lenses, we've got pancake lenses. Thank Christ for that. That's brilliant news. Can just leave that right there. Amazing choice. We've got 2160 by 2160 per lens. We've got a 72 to 144 hertz refresh rate, and the connection is a dedicated 6 gigahertz adapter, which uses a very low latency connection, so nothing's going to be running over the top of your connection. This is going to be fantastic for streaming. from your PC to your headset, there's going to be very little lag, and that'll be great because obviously those of you who have had VR sickness, if you know, you know. So one thing where this headset will probably have a distinct advantage, and maybe like Valve's ace in the hole, is a technology called foveated streaming. This is similar to foveated rendering, where basically the system uses eye tracking to decide where you're looking at inside the headset and then focus resources. Now, it was rendering before, but now they're going to use that for streaming as well. So the headset will be much more efficient at dealing with graphics and allow the headset to punch way above its weight in terms of processing power. So apparently relevant people in the industry, like people from Digital Foundry and various like VR enthusiasts, have all been shipped over to Valve and given some hands-on time with this system. And thankfully, music to my ears, they've all come back and said this system is running really well. It streams really fast, there's no latency, and it just gives a really good solid VR experience. It doesn't sound like it's that much far ahead of, say, the Quest experience, but I think it's far enough ahead to give it a definite advantage. It's not going to be an AR headset, that's for sure. I think it has some monochrome lenses on the outside to enable you to look outside your headset when you want to move around, but this is definitely not an AR system. This is going to be a purely dedicated VR system. But in fact, it's actually better than that because it also has onboard processing. This thing can run independently of your PC. So in actual fact, what you can do is you can use it just as a gaming system. You can put it on your head no matter where you are, boot up Steam, choose a game, even a 2D game, and just play it like you would with a normal game. I think this is where the Steam controller will come into its own, because what you can do is you can sit on the toilet, sit in bed, sit on an airplane, put this VR headset on your head, boot up a 100-inch screen in the middle of nowhere, and pull out your Steam controller, and you literally in your own like amphitheater for gaming wherever you want to be. And I think that is a pretty cool concept. So this is just typical Valve. They just come out of nowhere and throw three things at us at the same time when we were all really expecting one thing. And yeah, they all look great. They've put a lot of time and effort into this, obviously. They've taken everything they've learned from all the different parts of their company, and this is like, the best of all of them. Early 2026 is not too far away, and I guess the only real question now is price. How much these things are going to cost? Now, I'm not going to speculate on the Steam machine because I really don't know. I think the controller is probably going to be around £70 to £80, and I would say a very rough guess for the Steam frame, I would probably estimate between £800 and £900. I think it's a given that this Steam frame will come with the VR controllers we've seen. So it really is a question of how many people will also buy the Steam controller to also experience that gaming experience within the VR space. Of course, I can't round off this video without mentioning there are some very credible rumours now that Half-Life 3 may actually launch at the same time as these pieces of hardware. And if they do, that will just be amazing. Like, Valve will have just absolutely nailed it completely. This will be the perfect time to do it. It'll bring in all this extra attention and all the hype. People will be so over the moon just to see Half-Life 3 exist. We're going to assume it's going to be good, and and whatever it is, I'm assuming Valve will only put it out if it's amazing, no less than. So yeah, I mean, we're in for a really amazing start to 2026. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you found it entertaining or useful, or both. If you could want to start a conversation, just leave a comment, and I would love to chat to you guys about anything to do with VR or gaming in general. And yeah, look forward to the next video. It's probably going to be Skate Story, which is an indie game from Devolver Digital, so it's going to be awesome. We know that already. And yeah, then after that, it's going to be Game of the Year Awards. So I'm very excited to bring that to you guys. Hope you're all well. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.